You know what I'm saying? So I think they can kind of anticipate certain things that you're going to stand on and kind of develop a strategy or a
I can see that.
Right.
That's kind of common though across platforms. But I'll say this though, at the Joe Budden podcast, even though they stood on their squares, I also felt they was very respectful of my positions though.
Yes.
Like, even though we went at it, even me and Ish on the Snow Bunny thing, we went at it.
Yes.
But at the end of the day, it felt like all love in it. Yeah. Like when I left, I didn't feel that there was any animosity with anyone. When I left out, I said, you know what, that was all right. You know what I mean? We went at it, but it was still love in it.
Do you know the value you brought to Joe? Listen. The value you brought to, because see, Joe,
I mean, he was already doing well though.
Yeah, but this is a different game. See, this is what I'm saying. This is no longer about points, right? It's like they put points up. He's running the game I'm running, which is a subscription model game.
Okay.
If you notice, your interview never came out for a long time on YouTube. Word is in the industry, behind the scenes, that it was upwards of 10s, 20 of thousands of new subscriptions.
Okay.
Which is it's a substantial amount of money, right? And so that value you bring, that dynamic you bring is always so valuable. And I just want you to know that, which I know you know. But again, the debate style thing they done with you came from what we had just done with Dion, right? Okay. It was more so because
I didn't realize,
people don't want to disrespect you, right? They think that but I know you want us, so we can have these conversations like you say and disagree on something, move to the next subject, agree on that subject, agree on the next one, disagree on that one, and I know you invite the discourse, but yeah, man, you brought a lot of value to that platform, and I just wanted to know, you know, moving forward, how you felt about going on there.
I didn't mind. I'm looking forward to the return.
Okay, great.
They all right with me.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it. It was a good conversation.
Great. Now, Piers Morgan, is that off the table?
It depends on what he wants to talk about and who he want to talk about it with. In other words, if that would have been me on that panel, I would have kind of felt like it was a waste of my time. You follow me? Because that other brother who was up there from Fresh and Fit, they invited me to their platform. I don't know if they still together anymore.
Yeah, they still together.
Okay, but they invited me about a year or two, and I didn't go. And the reason I didn't go is right before I received their invitation, somebody sent me a clip of a black woman, young sister, who was on a panel, and they got into a disagreement or an argument. I don't know. Was it a fist fight?
Yeah, they put their hands on that girl.
Yeah.
Physically removed her.
So when I saw that, I couldn't. It's one thing to say, I don't want to date black women.
Yeah.
Completely disrespectful for a black man to say, but I might still tolerate you.
Right.
But if you go to the point where you are absolutely berating and disrespecting a sister on your platform, even going so far as to allegedly put hands on her, I can't give you my energy.
Right.
Because I know when I interview with you, everybody who follows Dr. Umar wants to see it.
Right.
This week alone, I've gotten at least a dozen texts from supporters who saying, Dr. Umar, I done watched everything on YouTube. When your next interview?
Yeah.
You know, probably my biggest constituency base amongst my supporters might be the long haul truck drivers, bro.
Yes.
You feel me?
Yeah.
I hear from the long haul. They say, Doc, you take me from Florida to California, right? So they'll text me and be like, yo, where the next interview at? Yes. I done watched these 20 times. I need some new Dr. Umar. So to your point, I do know that my supporters are waiting for the next interview. You know what I mean? So my thing is, I got to be conscious of that. I'll give it to you. I probably turned down at least a dozen podcasts.
Yeah.
Because I felt that you have made it crystal clear that you don't respect black people if they're Caucasians, right? Andrew Schultz. He wanted me. Somebody sent me a clip where him and Shannon Sharp. I don't want to get it wrong. I don't want to misspeak about the man, but I think it was a conversation he had with him and Shannon Sharp or somebody where he kind of said something disrespectful about black women. I forget what it was, but I do remember in the moment, I said that was a bit too far. I can't go on that platform.
Right.
If you didn't,
you and Schultz have always had this funny relationship
because I don't know him, right? But because my time on the Breakfast Club, because him and Charlemagne have a podcast together, right?
Yeah, they're
and so
free.
Charlemagne was the first one to say, you know, he wants you on there.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, but he got to pay, right? So then finally, when they came to me and say, okay, we'll pay, I'm like, all right, I might do this. And then I see the clip with him and Shannon, or maybe with somebody on his show.
Right.
I forget where it was, but he says something disrespectful about black women.
Yeah.
And I said, because what he said, in my opinion, cut too low. If you cut too low, I'm not bringing you my listening audience.
Yes.
I'm not saying you need it.
Yeah.
You're already doing fine.
Yeah.
But you're not going to have the benefit of mine too, and you disrespecting my community.
And you know, both things together is what makes the explosion, right? You need war. I mean, you need heat and cold to make a tornado.
Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
Yeah. So when those mashups are way more powerful than just, oh, we're doing another episode this week. No, Umar and Andrew Schultz would be a moment.
Oh,
yeah, it's like that's a moment, and he knows.
You know, at first, right? He said they didn't pay their guests. I said, you really think? You really think Dr. Umar Ifatunde, the #1 black scholar in the world, #1 Pan-Africanist, it ain't even close, or #2 Pan-Africanist, because I'm going to give #1 to President Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, right? So the #2 Pan-Africanist, #1 in the West, and you think I'm going to come and give you a conversation that we know going to go viral?
Oh, my God.
That you know you're going to get paid on.
A bunch of money.
And you think I'm coming for free? I said,
guess why the expectation is that? It's because the other black scholars in those positions that you are in will charge us
and go to the white man for free. Not me. In fact, you got to pay more. You understand?
That's why we love Umar.
Most of the podcasts I've turned down have been white, and they've offered nice amounts, but I can't do it because I've seen you say and do things that to me was too deep of an aspect of disrespect that would allow me to sit down and have that conversation.
So do you think Schultz is racist? I know Schultz.
I believe all white people are racist. So that's not the question. The question is, do I think Schultz is a bigot? Right?
Yes.
Racism is what? Complete control and domination for your group of resources, opportunities, and privileges. ROP.
Dr. Umar Johnson is an American psychologist, educator, and public speaker known for his focus on issues affecting the African American community, particularly in the areas of education and mental health. He holds degrees in psychology and education, and he is a certified school psychologist. Dr. Johnson is recognized for his passionate speaking style and strong advocacy for Black cultural awareness, family development, and educational improvement. One of the central topics Dr. Johnson often discusses is the importance of education in shaping the future of young people, especially African American boys. As a school psychologist, he has worked with students and families to support their academic and personal growth. He has also spoken out about the challenges that many young students face in school systems, such as academic tracking and the overuse of special education placements. In addition to his work in psychology and education, Dr. Johnson is well known for his efforts to open a school based on principles of leadership, discipline, and self-empowerment. This school project, called the Frederick Douglass Marcus Garvey Academy, is named after two influential figures in African American history. The goal of the school is to provide a high-quality educational experience focused on personal pride, discipline, and academic excellence. Dr. Johnson travels widely as a motivational speaker, often addressing large audiences across the United States and internationally. His lectures focus on building strong families, cultural pride, and community development. He encourages parents to become more involved in their children's education and to create strong, supportive home environments. While he has received both support and criticism over the years, Dr. Johnson remains a committed and outspoken figure. He uses various media platforms, including YouTube and social media, to reach his audience and share his views on community development and youth empowerment. In summary, Dr. Umar Johnson is a school psychologist, speaker, and educator whose work centers on strengthening families, improving education, and promoting community involvement. He continues to be a visible and active voice in public discussions about education and youth leadership.